Hello, and welcome to Totally Schway Flipside, a podcast where comments are the most important thing. Hey, Luke.
Yeah.
You up to anything in the near future?
Yes, and have been up to many things, but I guess you're talking about two things in particular.
Why don't you tell me what they are, then I'll see if you're in trouble or not.
All right,
I'm
so
joking.
We're testing my mind-reading abilities here, so okay. So first thing, I mentioned this in the main episode of Totally Schway, but just in case you don't listen to Totally Schway, I'm going to be in LA for LA Comic-Con on the 26th and 27th and possibly a bit of the 28th of September.
I am not going to be there with you.
No.
Because I am staying back with the bibbies.
Well, also, you said to me you didn't really fancy ruining your sleeping pattern for a 3-day trip.
I did say that.
Yeah. Should we move on to my second piece of news?
If you want.
So I think that most people listening to this podcast would already know this, but I announced on Batman Day that I am releasing a book.
Wow!
Of my Batman the Animated Series video essays called Rogues Gallery. The most exciting thing I think about it is that it has got a brand new cover by John Calmette, who was a background painter and designer on Batman the Animated Series and other DCAU shows. And also it's got a foreword written by Dan Reba. And yes, when I received the email with everything he wanted to say in there, it was wonderful. It's
one of the only times where I feel that I have seen Luke kind of I would say like a little bit speechless because of happiness. Not because of like, oh my god, the world is on fire.
Yeah. So yeah, I've announced that. It will be released later this year. I'm hoping to be able to share pre-order details in about a month, maybe sooner. Don't quote me on that though.
Yeah. This has been something that has been a major thing in our lives.
Yeah.
And when I say our lives, when people are like, oh my god, what's going on today? It's, oh hey, I'm working on something with Luke.
And I'll tell you something, I'll just share a very funny anecdote here for the podcast listeners. So when we got our first proof back, it was wonderful, really great. I was flipping through it. Just randomly, immediately noticed a typo. I went, we've read this 3,000 times. How is there a typo there? And it was like a full stop was in the wrong place.
Yeah. And then, I might share a picture of how many proofs we actually have on an Instagram post or a Substack post when I get back to doing those things. Just so you can see that it looks like the same book. It talks like the same book. But it's not the same book. No. Because formatting is a huge thing. And it was our first experience doing this, but just like Luke said, there's more to come. So I'm so excited about the future of this.
Yes.
Even if it's just my mother-in-law buying them.
Even if we sell 3 copies, it'll be worth it.
It'll be me, Luke's mama, and Gilly, because somebody gave him a credit card.
So yeah, that's what's been going on with me.
It was me. I gave him the card. I can't really think of anything else to share other than it's kind of nearly fall-like here, like autumn-like. And yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing about the comments. I'm looking forward to hearing about some of my favorite people. I am going to say this first before I get to anything, because I don't read most of the time I do not read the comments before we do the comments, because I like to be surprised, just like I don't watch a lot of movie trailers before I watch the movie. I'll watch 1 or 2. I am a political person, whether I like that or not, but I do have my limits. And with the stuff that's currently in the news about a specific person that was on YouTube, I do not want to talk about them. I don't know much about them other than the community that I am a part of, they did not agree with. Thus, I had no reason to ever watch this person or speak about this person. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Does that make sense?
Well, it makes sense to me because I know what you're talking about. But let's just say it's poor form to speak ill of the dead.
Yeah.
Even if they were people you don't agree with and find their views repugnant.
And I know the people that listen to this podcast are so loving and caring and sympathetic and empathetic. I love you guys so much, but this is my limit. Mm-hmm. And that's all I'm going to say, because we're going to talk about the Justice Lords.
On a related topic, the Justice Lords. Yeah. Oh, God. What awful timing.
Yeah, but it is what it is. And I'm sorry to get serious like that, but, you know, the times are changing in this world, and I want to be part of a world that is not always positive about something, but wants positive change due to doing it the proper way.
Yeah. So, as Mary was saying, we're going to get to the comments now from the last episode of Totally Schway, where we talked about the Justice Lords. So up first we have Lowell Lucas Jr., who says, well ahoy, dear boy, come make way for Totally Schway, for every dear boy and every girl I say, will take your woes far away. Hey y'all, hope you're all doing fine. I'm still struggling with healing, sorry to hear that, but doing the best I can. I thank you all for the great comments, and host Luke and Mary for the podcast helping me to relax and recover. Thank you all. Now on to the fascists with capes. Boo! Justice Lords, boo! Their brand of justice is more tyrannical, than an asset. I often wonder if they'd have a team up with Magneto, and would they try to enact their viewpoints onto mutants, or would it turn into a civil war?
Could you imagine?
I can. Either way, I can't get a word edgewise with them without being hauled away and never seen again. I see the Justice Lords receiving their just desserts by the machinations of Mark Hamill's Spectre. No power of this universe could stop his fury, nor his brand of justice. Lastly, I look forward to the con report, Luke. I'm sure you'll be in for a grand time. Just don't try booking 3 cons in 6 weeks like I have. It's completely exhausting. Also, a Bizarro episode? That makes sense ever since Laser Eye Man fixed brain. Yes. Am you Bizarro's mommy? Till then, TTFN, ta-ta for now.
Ta-ta for now.
Yeah, I'm only going to LA Comic Con. I'm not planning on going to any others anytime soon. I know London Comic Con's coming up, but yeah, I don't really plan on going.
I haven't even seen I don't even know if they've released the list or anything for the
attendees.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've started trickling it out.
Oh,
yeah.
have they?
It's in October, so, it's shortly afterwards.
If Keith David, Mako Rosenbaum, or Susan Eisenberg ever came to one of these events here in London, it's over. I will have no money left. I will just throw it at them. And obviously, a respectable way. But I'd be like, just take, especially Susan. Oh my God, Keith David, could you? Oh my God.
You're making it sound like they're stripping Mary, throwing money at them. Take off them pants, Keith David.
No, I have seen and heard Keith David in so many things that I would just be over the moon.
Yeah, he has a very distinctive voice, doesn't he?
I'd be like, I watched Spawn as a child.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Lowell Lucas Jr. Let's move on to the next comment, which is from Doc Widener, who says, thank goodness you're here. Enjoy your trip to LA. Rough flight plans? I'm going straight there. And then a couple of days later, going straight home. So to continue the comment, totally not much of a brunch because Daniel and I went to the Pawpaw Festival. The Pawpaw, Asimina triloba, is North America's largest edible native tree fruit. The fruit has a wonderful creamy texture and a tropical flavour. Southern Ohio is home to some of the largest and best tasting wild pawpaw patches on the planet. The missus was supposed to go. This is more her kind of thing than mine. We'll put pictures in the community tab. Have used it a bit in the last week. Yes, I noticed. Thank you for doing that.
That's a good thing, though.
Yes, no one says it's bad. We're all going, yes, good.
Yeah, do it. I love seeing Doc's. I keep wanting to call him by his actual name. But I love seeing Doc's photographs. Because first off, it makes me feel that I'm part of their family. And 2, I've had some very stressful days. And just watching, I'll go in the albums and just look at them again. It is just so happy.
Mm-hmm. So to continue the comment, the Justice Lords not only have a black and white view of the world, but most importantly, they don't believe in the concept of redemption or reform. Oh yeah, you just got there, Luke. Downside of writing as I go along. Bonus question. Compare and contrast the champions of Agnor/Justifies from the mainline comics to the Justice Lords. As with the Justice Lords, they were a reaction to 9/11 and authoritarianism. The post-crisis Justifiers took a page from Superman 4. They also weren't straight-up copies of the Justice League, but had their own cast of heroes. But you can see some inspiration for the Justice Lords if you squint enough. Speaking of the community tab, I will post my copy of the Bizarro Who's Who's page like I did with the question. Short comment this week. Yeah, it was a short comment. What's going on? But yes, thank you for your comment, Doc.
Yeah, thank you.
Next we have Alexandre Faux, I believe is how you pronounce it. I know I say this every time, but I'm sorry if I get it wrong. Remember, I am English. We don't know how to speak any languages, not even English. While the idea of heroes, specifically the Justice League, facing evil versions of themselves is nothing new, where a better world succeeds is in the ideological conflicts between the League and the Lords. In most stories, more specifically in Justice, the Lords would be portrayed as straight-up mustache villains and anti-heroes who believe they are in the right just because they kill villains. However, the episode give a bigger look at their actions, showing their pros and cons. One hand, their actions are effective. Criminals like Joker are lobotomized and are no longer a threat. Cities like Gotham look clean and quiet. However, it's their actions that make their achievements feel so disturbing and questionable. I don't think the Justice Lords are in the right. They aren't, but at least we can understand why they would believe such a thing. Lord Green Lantern even compares their way with how things were during the Cold War, when people also live in fear of nuclear war, but still accept how things were. I also like how the conflict with the League isn't solved by the heroes punching each other, but with Superman having to make a deal with Luthor in order to defeat the Lords, proving that he's capable of making tough decisions, but not to the point of giving up his moral values like the Lords did. Yes, it's all very true and very well said.
Truth.
Thank you for your comment. Next we have, I believe, a new commenter, Dragon Master. I think I would remember a name like that if they had been around before, but maybe not. And they say, when you think about it, there are lots of parallels you can make between the Justice Lords and the Injustice video games. Yes, that's very true. When Superman ends up using lethal force on the criminal underworld, gathering supporters from the superhero community, and effectively becomes a mad dictator, he believes he's using the power to prevent what happened to Lois Lane and the people of Metropolis from ever happening again, from stopping ordinary criminals to jailing smokers. However, when he ends up killing Shazam, or Captain Marvel, which alias you prefer using, who is literally a child, along with a number of other characters who don't support his ideals, then the image and logic of these atrocities being acts of justice cracks and shatters, leaving everyone with the horrible and disgusting reality that he has become the very thing he despises. A fascist. Yep, again, very true.
Did anybody here play the... I think it came out last year, maybe the year before last. I think it was last year, the Suicide Squad game. I would hate to have our superheroes like that, where they were just evil. Whereas I think there are some superheroes in the DCAU who feel like they're villainized because of, you know, certain things that they have done in the past. But those ones were just evil, whereas the Justice Lords weren't necessarily evil, but they just thought they were doing the right thing. Like they weren't taken over by some, you know, mythic spell or something. They just thought because, you know, their friend died and they had one decision that they made, and then it turned out to be this.
Yeah, I mean, the Injustice games have a similar storyline. Maybe not quite as sophisticated, but yeah, touches upon similar ideas. Next we have the latest tome from Big Mikey P, who says something about the Charlie Kirk shooter that I'm just going to skip over, not because he said anything wrong, but because we're trying to steer clear from the topic. Thank you very much. And he continues by saying... Thought the LA Comic-Con would be in October. The Justice Lords. They weren't real heroes in terms of traditionals in the home universe of the DCAU main and supporting characters, but in their own universe, they sure were absolutely necessary. Got to pity what happens to its defenseless state, for I doubt Justice Lord's Batman can solo things. 4 minutes and 39 seconds. The League has the thought-provoking heart, but the Lords have the everlasting logic. I do wish the Patriot Act was more effective than it became, for I was one of its vocal supporters. Oh well, guess we need a Babylon 5 Night Watch. Now that's a concept that I'm in love with. Funnily, I actually felt Justice Lord's Lois Lane, now being on otherwise sheltered safe hands, was more cathartic. She sure gets caught dying in a lot of alternate universes, especially on Superman the Animated Series, Brave New World, Injustice, Gods Among Us, and Kingdom Come. For costume opinions on the Lords, appreciate the more practical black and white look, Superman, but wish it was more like the aforementioned Kingdom Come, Superman smashes the Klan look, for Kansas. Batman's is my personal fave, especially on it being actual armour and how it's implied to have inspired the Batman Beyond batsuit. Gotta miss Wonder Woman's armour though. It ain't skin covered conservative, but without it. It ain't skin cover conservative, but without it. ... I don't understand that sentence. Martian Manhunter looks nice, reminds me of his Young Justice look. Green Lantern may need to be more spaceborne though. Not sure on Hawkgirl. Come to think of it, was the Thanagarian invasion flawlessly prevented in their universe? Yeah, they probably wouldn't even have tried it with the Justice Lords in place. But it does beg an interesting question on if Hawkgirl is still a spy for the Thanagarians on that world. Probably. Maybe it hadn't happened yet. If he were alive, their Flash wouldn't like the Reverse Flash look as seen in Justice League Unlimited Season 2. 14 minutes and 53 seconds is written I want and then scored it out. We need a world where there are no more Xinjiangs. I think I've said that right. South China Seas, 9/11s, Arab Springs, North Korea's surprise Trump election and re-election victories, David Zaslav-led cancellations, and so on. Of course, I feel vowed by Justice Lord Batman initial victory. I mean, out of all of those things you mentioned there, one of those things is not like the others. It's David Zaslav not releasing Batgirl. That's, yeah. Anyway.
Dear David, please release it. I know someone there somehow saved it to, like, a passport. Release it!
Yeah, Cadmus messed up when they wanted a Doomsday super soldier. Apparently I've just turned into Sean Connery. I haven't. Super soldier should have had an army of Puella Magi instead. Like, honestly, they're far more awe-inspiring. Noise without violence will be rendered moot when the enemy finds earmuffs, Mary, and 2008 was undone by the Lehman Brothers economic crash. Still, we'll like to see Barack Obama get vindicated by history when all the worldwide heat cools down.
I could see him on the front lines, dressed up like Rambo. You know, if it so happened, dressed up like Rambo, smoking a cigarette, and then all he has to do is look at somebody. He rules the world now. That's it. Oh, and Michelle. Obviously, Michelle has already gone, you know, in my scenario, has already gone there talking to the world leaders. Gave her beautiful smile, but a little side eye, telling them that she knows what's good. And that is who would be the best president of the United States. And right after that, Kamala.
This sounds very much like an American Dad skit, Mary. You've been watching a lot of the Seth MacFarlane shows recently. It's seeping into your brain.
Seth and I could come up with some really great, beautiful things.
23 minutes and 37 seconds, they'll grudgingly disagree with DCAU Batman. No talk about Justice Lord Green Lantern talking about his childhood experience involving what's implied to be the Cuban Missile Crisis. Big Mikey P, if I talked about that, then what would you have commented?
Yeah.
As a kid who grew up on the last years of the Cold War, his words have stayed very relevant to me, and it's a shame not many share such views anymore, especially the dumbed-down millennials. Hey, if you grew up during the last few years of the Cold War, Big Mikey P, chances are you are a millennial.
Wait, Big Mikey P, how old are you? I'll tell you my real age if you tell me yours.
28 minutes and 5 seconds. See Batman Beyond 2.0 for an alternate yet interesting look with this before-mentioned Justice Lord Batman now being the solo guardian of his Earth. Poor fellow. Yeah. There's no problem if people enjoy those Batman Beyond 2.0 comics. Just don't conflate them with the DCAU.
Is that on DC Infinite?
It is, yes. Perfectly fine if you enjoy them and like them, of course. But it's not the same thing. That's me getting off my soapbox and getting back to reading Big Mikey P's comments.
I've already been on my soapbox today.
30 minutes and 10 seconds. Gods no, and I won't be surprised if elements loyal to the Lords will inevitably try to invade the DCAU itself out of retaliation. 30 minutes and 22 seconds. In short, entropy always comes back with a vengeance. Can't be helped, though. For weak men create weak times, which in turn shall create great men who create great times. And so the cycle continues anew no matter what. And even when Earth's affairs have become stable one way or another, there'll be far future space strife against our Mars, if not Andromeda galaxy colonies. Overall, if I have to write my own fiction, I thought you were already, I'm so going to deconstruct the DCAU ideas of the Justice Lords and instead make them more benevolent and sane as a breath of optimistically submersive fresh air. In fact, my multiversal defense force idea concept can easily be this, considering the topics of military councils, covert but justifiable interdimensional interventions, their proud and diverse multiversal operatives actually being multifaceted superheroes in all but name. Bizarro next, got it. Oh, and if only he was a solo act, for his later appearances never gave him final closure.
I forgot to ask Doc this, because I was going to ask everybody this, but especially Doc. But now that Big Mikey P has us on Mars, what do you guys think about NASA's awesome announcement? Like, how stellar is that?
Which
Unintended. About there being some sort of, like, biological, is it microbiological, stuff on there, like living, like, evidence of living, like organisms.
Mm-hmm.
How awesome is that? Like, I feel so like, I think we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. I agree.
And that black thing in the sky that's following us, not a spaceship.
No.
Space junk.
No, space junk.
Or an asteroid thing.
No.
But it's probably space junk.
It'd be fun if it was a spaceship.
I mean, I would love it. I'd be like, y'all, take me now.
It's just like a satellite that wandered off and
if
trying
y'all
to come
tell
back.
me aliens and Godzilla exist, I'm ready for it. Put my hands out and say yes.
Right, so thank you for your comment as ever, Big Mikey P. Next, we have A1ML33Y, which is Julia Raoul, who says, "Hey, Luke Wilson and Mary Jane Watson Parker."
I love the names they give me.
My name is Julia, and I hate it when DC goes full edgelord evil Justice League. First off, I'm aware of stories like this DC does from time to time, when some edgelord writer has an unoriginal idea, like Injustice to make Superman a kill-crazy dictator who kills people, like Billy Batson, for example. I seriously hate those games for making Superman a murderer, and also Wonder Woman. It just frustrated me with DC when they do stuff like this. And I'm afraid Absolute Universe Batman and Super Friends are going to go evil and go full Justice Lords and pull a Squadron Supreme. But yeah, I've never been a fan of evil, unlikable versions of the main heroes. Like, if DC needed edgy versions of their heroes so bad, why don't they just use the Crime Syndicate or the Authority, Midnighter, Apollo, Jenny Sparks, Jack Hawksmoor, the Doctor, and the Engineer? Like, why don't they have a comic in 2025? What's wrong with Scott Snyder writing Midnighter? Also, have you heard about DC cancelling the then upcoming Red Hood comic because the trans writer named Gretchen Faulkner Martin made light of Charlie Kirk biting the dust? I'm sad Gretchen got fired for speaking her mind, and I agree the world is better without bigotry. But here's the kicker. DC would fire a trans woman off of a Batman spin-off book, but Scott Snyder can have Absolute Batman fight the Klan. So it's wrong for a trans woman to speak her mind and make light of someone. But Scott Snyder doesn't lose his job for having Batman fight the Klan in the story. So these are very different things. So the first thing is Scott Snyder isn't writing the Absolute Batman annual where he fights the Klan. And the thing is, the Klan in this case is a fictional group of people. They're not any real-life people. Like, if it was Batman beating up David Duke, for instance, I think he's still the head of the Klan. To be honest, I don't keep up with them, so I don't really know. Then it would probably be a different matter. But at the same time, I kind of agree that it was a bit reactionary of DC to fire the writer and cancel the book because of their distasteful remarks. You know, you can disagree with someone as much as possible and find their views odious, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, they deserve to be killed. And I think as fans of superhero media, where the heroes generally do not kill, we shouldn't be celebrating murder. That's my take on it. You're perfectly entitled to your take, but that's really all there is to say on this at the moment.
Yeah.
So just to continue Julia's comment, they say, Lastly, I did read the new Matt Fraction Batman comic, and it's nice to see Batman not an angry, emo, violent edgelord like Absolute Batman. I like how Batman by Matt Fraction actually made Bruce have a compassionate heart-to-heart with Croc. I was sceptical at first, but once I didn't feel like my trust was being... for once, I didn't feel like my trust was being betrayed by DC. I might actually follow main universe Batman in addition to reading World's Finest, because all I want is stories where Batman isn't an arsehole. By the way, did you read Detective Comics 1100?
I was literally just about to ask that. I want, because as soon as you were describing it to me, was it last night or whenever you read it?
Last time on this podcast?
Yeah.
It's the main story is Batman helping a deaf boy find his stolen dog.
I need to read this.
And the dog had been stolen by gangbangers, so Batman beats the crap out of them and brings Ace the dog along as well.
Okay, I'm done. I am done. Runs to get the iPad.
I'm still enjoying Supergirl because I love the Silver Age Whimsy by Sophie Campbell, and Silver Six by Nicole Maines. I'm mostly reading these because I like the CW versions of the characters along with the current Black Lightning comics and Static Shock comics. Trying to enjoy these parts of the DC all-in stuff, and for me it's like that CW connection. Yeah, read the Metamorpho miniseries that came out recently as well. The Metamorpho all-in 6-issue miniseries. That was pure Silver Age comedy. It was really good. I really liked it. Anyways, thanks for reading my letter, Luke Wilson and Mary Poppins Watson. Until next time, true believers. Yes, thank you for your comment,
Julia. Yes, and thank you so much for always being here.
Right, next comment is from David Carney, who says, "Hi, Mary and Luke. Hope you have a great time at LA Comic Con. Luke would have loved them to be called the Crime Syndicate, but I can see why they were called the Justice Lords. Hoping for a live-action appearance in the DCU. Hope you all have a good week." Thank you for your comment, David. Yes, you know what's funny? I haven't been watching Peacemaker, but I gather that there's a plot where he goes to, and he gives up basically on the universe he's living in and uses his dad's interdimensional doorway to go to another universe where he's the world's greatest hero. I don't know if they've revealed which universe it is yet, but there's two possibilities in my mind. One, it's the Crime Syndicate universe, where good can never prevail. Or two, it's Earth X, where the Nazis won World War II. So that would make sense, kind of why his dad, the white supremacist, is considered a great hero there. But I guess we'll find out when the show continues.
Of that, I still need to read Mouse.
That's true, you do. But yeah, anyway, where was I? Next comment from Pal Content. Haven't heard from you in a while, Connor. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Connor.
A Better World is actually one of my favourite stories in all of the DCAU. I'd say definitely my favourite Justice League non-unlimited episode. You did a video about your favourite Justice League episodes, didn't you? Is that the one I commented on? Collaborated with you on, I should say? Or was that the Justice League Unlimited? I forget now. It was a long time ago, I feel like. I honestly feel like the concept of a more morally corrupt, otherworldly Justice League is much more thoughtfully, creatively and plausibly presented here than it is in other similarly themed DC stories I know of. I really could talk about it all day. This also could have been a good chance to finally give Ross Kemp the role of Lex Luthor he has always deserved. Keep Clancy Brown as the mainline one, of course, but the opportunities for an alternate Kemp Luthor are right there. Lex Luthor, the missing Mitchell brother.
I was just about to say, is that the Ross Kemp I'm thinking of?
Yes, Grant Mitchell from EastEnders, yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'll have him. Yeah. Or something. I can't do accents.
Yes.
But yes. You'd be like, I got this.
Lex Mitchell comes to the square and buys up the Queen Vic and the CAF and the Arches and the laundrette, throwing his money around, acting like he's a big shot.
Yeah.
It writes itself.
Oh, do you remember what happened to Phil a couple of years back? Maybe oh my god, it's probably a decade now.
Was that when he became a crack addict?
Yeah.
Yes.
But apparently that's probably a really good, thing to talk about.
Yeah.
He's rehabilitated now, I think. For the most part.
There's a big storyline apparently going on with him battling with depression, and his friend Nigel has got dementia. I saw something about that online. Poor Nigel. I used to watch EastEnders quite a lot when I was a kid.
That's the thing about EastEnders. It's kind of outlandish at times, but it does deal with real subject matter that's important. Yeah,
I stopped watching it when Mike Reed died because Frank Butcher was my favourite character. And he was never going to be in it again, so there's no point in watching this.
Oh.
Although Rudolph Walker was his name, Patrick? He was really good. They generally had a lot of good actors in that show, actually, which is kind of strange for a soap opera. But anyway, this isn't the EastEnders podcast. Announcement, we're starting an EastEnders podcast.
No, we're not.
We're not. We're going to do a watch-along from the very first episode.
That we would be here until, 2055.
Yes, yeah. It'd take us decades.
And it would just get us to 1988.
This is the point where we've lost the American audience because they don't know what EastEnders is. That was a good attempt.
Yeah. That's one thing about me is I've never got that right.
Boom, 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 boom. That's how it goes at the end of every episode. Anyway, I said I'd stop talking about EastEnders, so it's time to stop talking about EastEnders. Up next, we have RJ Productions. Harry, how are you doing? He says, what's up, everyone? How's everyone today? I don't know if the Justice Lords came behind, if after the Injustice comics, but both have sexy Lexi form an alliance with the heroes, and both have Superman kill Lex in a fit of anger. I remember as a kid I actually got pissed at Superman for killing Lex whenever I watched my brother play the first Injustice game. Also, I've been listening to the song Punk Rocker by the Teddy Bears ever since watching the new Superman movie, and I can't help but feel like it fits the vibe of Batman's character in Batman the Animated Series as well. Yes, Veronica Vreeland in my Batman series. Also, I've moved into a new supported living home, and it's great. The support is better, and everyone is a lot nicer and friendlier. I'm happy to hear that, Harry. Good for you.
We definitely need people to be good to you.
I just want to say I watched a clip from Superman 78 where Lois tells Superman how she heard that he was a figment of someone's imagination like Peter Pan. And I thought, BS! Peter Pan has nothing on Superman. Supes could squash the cocky little P-word if he wanted. If anything, Peter Pan is more like Homelander. Peter Pan as Homelander. Now there's an image. I think it's hilarious how Lois predicted the new Superman as well as Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare coming out the same year, just a few months apart from each other. Also, 11:17 to 11:22, Dracula says, for the last time, I don't say blah, blah, blah. Okay, thank you, Harry.
Yeah. Outlander, what is that?
Homelander.
Oh, because I saw a bus with Outlander. Something.
Yeah, Homelander's the villain from The Boys.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Next, a new commenter, Lacan Zorok, who says, this story was a mix of the Crime Syndicate of America and Mark Grunwald's Squadron Supreme. Yeah, absolutely. Totally can see that.
Defo.
I think since the moment that they had called themselves the Justice Lords, you can say they always see themselves above the human population. Yep, absolutely. Even if the Justice League would consider deposing the President of the US, they wouldn't take power. Didn't that happen in the first arc of the Batman-Superman comic in 2003? I guess you think Barack Obama united the people in the US, but I remember a lot of people questioning if he was Christian or even born in the US. The first one doesn't even matter, but just to be clear, he is both. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Obama is it gave a lot of people hope and feelings of unity, and then there are also people that it brought out their worst elements, I would say.
Barack Obama is one of those beautiful people in this world that helped change the world in a better way, and also has a beautiful wife that is also going to change the world in a beautiful way. Mm-hmm. Can I say anything? I love Michelle Obama. I love Barack Obama as well, but Michelle Obama, I cannot get over how incredibly intelligent, beautiful, and just kind-natured that woman is. But she can also give you lip if you give it to her. And I love that.
But Mary, I think you're forgetting Barack Obama once wore a tan suit.
I mean, I have thoughts on that. Wear more color. Yeah. Wear tan. Wear purple. Wear whatever you want.
Yes. But to continue the comment, also, not everyone thinks the same about what's right. Yeah, don't we know it? People are even letting their kids be unprotected against contagious diseases that were once considered eradicated because they don't know how vaccines work and they don't care to learn about it. Yeah, I think that's generally just a problem with humanity as a whole, isn't it? Because it's not just limited to a particular country, it's everywhere.
I remember a conversation I had with my mama because I had literally just got some jabs from the doctors probably a week before, and I kind of had that fever thing that happens afterwards. Mm-hmm. And on the news, I think it was because it was like school coming back and everything, this woman was going on and on about being vaccinated. And it's one of the first times my mama turned off Trisha Yearwood in her bedroom. Because she could hear the TV because she had Trisha on low. She comes in there and she hits that TV and says, "Don't you ever become something like that. You're getting vaccinated any way you can."
Well, yes. Yeah. I mean, the way vaccines work is they introduce a very small amount of the disease to your system so that your system can learn to fight it and defeat it.
Yeah.
That's basically how it works.
I just find the fact that my mama turned off Trisha Yearwood just to hit the TV.
Yeah, I remember seeing on the news someone going, "Did you know with vaccinations they actually give you the virus?" Like, yes, that's how vaccines work.
By the way, I'm getting my flu vaccine in 2 weeks' time, so if that gives you what I believe or don't believe.
Yeah, and actually, if you do show symptoms of the disease, that shows that actually it's working. Yes. Anyway, enough on that. I'm preaching to the choir. Sorry, I'll get off my pedestal. The final comment we have is from one and only Cucumber, the guy with the most memorable name.
I'm allergic to you.
Yeah. And they add, "I have nothing witty to say here." Oh no. I really need to rewatch Justice League. Yes, you do.
Without having anything witty to say, you said it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, it is I, Cucumber, everyone's favourite Totally Schway character, maybe. In personal news, I have done nothing notable this week. That is all. Bye. Have a good one.
That's okay. I never do anything notable.
Well, editing a book.
Well, yeah.
Doing subtitles.
Can we talk about something I've been seeing a lot on TikTok?
If you want to.
Okay, so I just want you guys to know and understand that these videos that I've been seeing on TikTok have been utterly amazing because they have been pitties wearing, like, I think they're like headbands to get your hair out of your face, and they've got ears on them.
Pit bulls.
Yes, pit bulls. Yeah. Oh my god, they're so cute, and the pit bulls love it. Like, it's like the best. And I'm mentioning this because it's been something that's been really. I try to watch stuff like that. Kind of like at the evening times, and it's just been so lovely that these pit bulls, a lot of these pit bulls have been rescued from people that didn't know how to take care of them or whatever, and then they just seem so happy just to be able to like run around and get on the sofa. But they, for some reason, most of these pit bulls just love those headbands, and that gets me to like, I need to save a pity just so I can put a black cat ears on them. Like, you know, the toweling headband things. I just love it. I love pit bulls, but in my town, people weren't allowed to have them. Back when I was a kid, I don't know if it's still right, but oh my goodness. Because every pit bull I have ever met, including my stepdad's pit bull, whose name was Killer, even though it was kind of like the complete opposite. They've
sarcastic.
always been really kind and lovable and very protective. But yeah, I wish I would have been able to put a little cute headband on that dog.
Good.
Sorry if you guys thought I was going to talk about something like serious or whatever, but it's just really been making me happy to see these people that are trying to give these dogs the best life they possibly can have, and the dogs just love the smallest little things. It makes me happy.
I think that kind of thing is exactly the sort of thing we should be consuming in these troubling times with a lot of angry people and a lot of upset people. We need to focus some of our energy on positivity and just breathe and try to relax. Let's just try to relax.
To center ourselves and ground ourselves, and it always, you have to care for yourself too. And self-care is definitely something that a lot of us don't, think about. And part of my self-care journey is not only trying to have like a healthy body, but also a healthy mind. And watching pit bulls with those little headbands on is part of my self-care. And also talking to you guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. So, next time we'll be talking about your comments on the latest episode of Totally Schway, which will be about Bizarro.
Bizarro.
And that will be the episode, the next episode, I should say, will be the episode where I've come back from LA Comic-Con, so I'll probably be jet-lagged to death and crabby. So, apologies in advance for that.
It might just be a Mary episode. No, just kidding. I'll still make him do it. All right, I love you guys so much. Tell me what kind of, like, humorous videos you guys have been watching, and what, like, lighthearted feel-good stuff you've been watching, and share it below, because I really need more stuff like that. I love you. Bye.